get down to the corner store and get me some milk and bread.
I'm busy here, dear.
John! You get to the corner store now if you know what's good for you.
Oh, okay. I'll go to the corner store, all right. Well, she wanted me to go to the corner store. I know which corner I'm going to. South Australia, Queensland and New South Wales border corner. That'll do me. Cameron corner. There's a whole lot of different ways to get out to the corner from Brisbane, but I wanted to take a different way, so somewhere I hadn't been before. And so after looking at the map, I thought, well, why not go down through Bulloo Station, up the Bulloo River? Hitting the ground running from Brisbane, it's a good 900 k's before you hit the dirt for the first time. It's a full day in the old sheepskin saddle to get to Cunnamulla, and from there, there's another few hundred k's before we make our first camp by the Bulloo River. Heading out this way, be ready for some long hot stretches, so bring plenty of fresh drinking water, especially when you're driving a truck like Milo. Arriving at the Bulloo and making camp after the long haul from Brisbane, I'm reminded why we four-wheel drivers do what we do. Seeing the river with plenty of water this far from the coast reminds you of just how extraordinary our land is and how fortunate we are to be a part of it. I don't know about you, but after a drive like that, I could eat the nuts off the harbour bridge. Time for a cook-up. Here's the old bushman's trick to lighting a fire with a lot of dry timber. Use a fire lighter. Oh, the old bush fire lighter. Doesn't matter, the wood's dry as out here. And look at this, talk about a perfect western river. This is the Bulloo River. We've come down south here to pick it up. It's beautiful. Lots of water in it too. What a great place to camp. Just going to get this fire going and I'll go and get the roast ready for the boys. Cooking on a dry wood fire is a bit of an art in itself because you get an awful lot of intense heat for a very small time. I've found in the past that the best way to do it is get it on and play with it. Well, as you know, I left home in a bit of a hurry. There's quite a few things I forgot to chuck in the truck, including a beer cooler. Brad, I'm going to make a beer cooler, but thank you. You've got to have a beer to make the beer cooler with. Bush beer cooler, really simple, bit of plastic, any plastic will do. Wrap it around the beer. And then we grab some cardboard, wrap that around the plastic. Not too hard. It's funny how, you know, whoever designed beer cans, he knew a lot, didn't he? I mean, I don't know about you, but my hand naturally falls around a beer can. Has done for a lot of years. I reckon it's ergonomically one of the best things ever made. And 100 mile an hour tape. Now, if you're going bush without 100 mile an hour tape, naughty, 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 you can do everything with this stuff. You can even tie them. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. The handbrake had better not hear that one. Okay. There you have it. Homemade beer cooler. Now, I'm going to cook a roast tonight, mostly because I reckon you should never go bush without a leg of something. In this case, a leg of lamb. Cooking a roast in a hot pot is dead easy. It's really easy when you forgot the vegetables, which is another thing I left at home. But that's all right. I'm on a bit of a low-carb diet anyway. So meat, beer, peas, gravy. That's us. I'm going to have to do this really quickly because there's about 10 million flies here on the Bulloo. It's part of the experience. They're all going to go away as soon as the sun drops anyway. This is just a simple leg of lamb. Dead easy. All I'm going to do, I've got some garlic in a squeeze bottle here. Give it a quick slash from side to side. Gee, this Leatherman's sharp. You've got to watch your fingers, I tell you. You need lots of butter in the pot. It just sort of breaks the seal so that the meat floats a little bit as it cooks. I like butter. You know, I don't know whether it's part of my low carb diet. I must find that out. No, I might not ask actually. It'd be safer. Plenty of garlic. Rub it in. Now, lamb you can do almost any way you can think of. I'm using garlic because it's simple and I'm in a hurry. I want to try out my homemade beer cooler. But you can do all sorts of things with lamb. In fact, you can do all sorts of things with roasts. One of the best things I've ever tried with lamb was alternate bits of lemon and lime. But that's going to take too long, and I don't have a lemon. I left that at home too, along with the Coronas. Okay, with the lamb all garliced up, in the pot. How hard was that? This is when, you know, you could chuck the veggies in now if the potatoes are nice and big, or if you want to sort of keep them down to half size, you'd put them in about an hour or so. Actually, by the look of that fire, the way it's going, I reckon this whole thing will be done in an hour. That's something else too, judging how long it takes to cook something like this. The only way to do that is to have a beer, open the lid. You get the hang of it. Now all we've got to do is set the fire up to take the pot and we'll be away. When you cook with a hot pot, you need to have heat underneath it and heat on top. And the more uniform the heat, the better. Best way to achieve that is to let the fire burn for a while and get some coals. And then you just flatten them out like this. See, that sand under there will be hot enough. Oh, it's pretty hot actually. In goes the pot, like yay. That's still a bit hot. This is why they have a lip, obviously, to keep a few coals on top and to keep the ashes out when you lift the lid up to check on the lamb. This is pretty hot, and this is a very quick fire because the timber's very dry and very light. So that means I'll probably need to turn it a couple of times and keep it topped up. But while we're waiting for the meat to cook, I reckon we should chuck a yabby pot in, eh? If there's not yabbies in there, I'll be very surprised. I'll just go get the pot. You can cook on any sort of fire, even a dry western wood fire, but you do need to keep that pot turned around when the fire's as hot as this. And by that I mean literally just turning it occasionally, so that it's not always facing the same way. I might be the world's worst fisherman, but I've actually caught a couple of yabbies over the years. And here's a bit of a trick for you. The best yabby tucker around is black and gold tuna cat food. Actually, anything yucky in a tin will do the job. My cooking does it too, but we won't go there. All you do is pierce a few holes in the top of the can and whack it in your net. Okay, well the bait's ready. Time to chuck it in. Don't know how big the yabbies are going to be. We'll tie a couple of knots in it, eh? I don't think there's anything more peaceful than sitting on a riverbank waiting for your dinner to cook and enjoying a cold beer, especially when you know you're at least 1,000 miles from the nearest capital city. That makes it even better. It hasn't been in that long, but this is a pretty hot fire. You can hear that roast sizzling. Ooh, it's going the right way, isn't it? Look at that. Bit black on the outside, but it hasn't been in long enough to be cooked all the way through. So we'll just put the lid back on, leave it on the edge for a while, I think. Another half an hour, another beer or two, should be magic. Several beers later and here's next morning. And wonderful and peaceful it is too in the bush. You know, people say this country always looks the same, but it doesn't. Look at this. Wild ducks. Must have been heaps of them. They all just suddenly decided to skate up the river for no reason at all. We got every brand of spider here. Even the non-dangerous ones are good for scaring tourists with though. Tell you what, the flies are back straight away, aren't they? As soon as the sun comes up, half a dozen flies. Well, the pot's been in overnight. Let's see how we went, eh? Me mates on the mud flats would be proud of me. Oh, look at that. There's a meal there, you know. Ha, Chuka reckons he knows how to catch crabs. Look at this. Well, there you go. How easy was that? You could live out here, couldn't you? Dead easy, just off the yabbies. It helps that the river's up. I reckon though that we'd better stick them on ice because it's going to get hot pretty soon, and I reckon we'll make a nice meal with those tonight. Little lobsters. You know, I travelled all over the world as a young bloke. They just didn't want me here, I guess. And I know one thing for sure, and that is that in Australia we are the world's best campers. We really are. And I think that the reason why is that even a campsite like this, where no one's going to come for another 50 years, we'll leave it spotless. We'll take everything we brought, including quite a few of these, out with us. Oh, get a load of this. You didn't see this last night. This is all that's left of that leg of lamb. I reckon Watto and Pico really gave it a bit of a hiding, eh? Along with a couple of beers. Righto, let's go, eh? Right now, the Bulloo's flourishing with the flow on from recent rains just north. Actually, the Bulloo River was the site of the world's third ever electric hydro plant, and it was the first in Australia. With water comes wildlife, and there's plenty of it out here. It might look brown, but I tell you what, I had an early morning dip and it was perfect. It always is, especially when you've got to spend the rest of the day sitting in a dusty cabin. Bulloo Station is a station, obviously, which means they've got cattle. All the big stations are fenced and gated on the edges, unless they've got grids. Just depends on the establishment itself and how often people travel. People don't travel through here very often, so we've got gates. And the rule with gates is simple. If it's open, leave it open. If it's shut, make sure you shut it. And it's not as if we're talking about a gate every 100 yards. Oh, hang on. Yes, we are in this case. This is just a stock run. Most of the big stations have them. They need something to narrow down all those huge square miles of country when they're mustering in the cattle. I didn't see any, but I'd say a lot of the mustering out here is done with a helicopter. Farmers use more ways to shut gates than there are ways to drink beer. All you got to do is copy what the last guy did, and you've got a fair chance of getting it right. Just make sure the gate won't come open though, okay? I love travelling on station tracks. It reminds me of when I was a kid, you know, back on our station I suppose, but more than that, it's just that feeling that you are well and truly away from it all. I mean, you could drive along here in a two-wheel drive ute, no problems at all, most of the way. But if things went wrong, then you'd be in trouble. That's when four-wheel drive comes in really handy. A little bit of rain out here, you can be stuck for days, even in a good truck. I noticed there were a couple of bulls in the creek here, just fairly close to us, and knowing the time of year and the way those bulls are probably feeling, I got back into the truck about as quick as I could. Some of these bush bulls are really worth avoiding. Kind of like Fat Kevy at closing time. Stay out of the way. Oh, Milo loves these dirt tracks as much as I do, I reckon. There's nothing like just pouring along a track knowing full well that there's no one coming for miles. I mean, you can see them. You can see the dust 2 or 3 k's away. Just you and this wonderful environment. You know, it can be as flat as a pancake, flatter than a clay pan for miles and miles and miles. And you think you've seen it all, and bingo, there's something you haven't seen. In this case, a mob of emus doing the usual emu thing, running across the track, not along it. It doesn't matter how flat Australia is in places. It's almost as if Mother Nature chucked up the odd mountain range or creek or clove of trees or something, you know. There's always something just up ahead that you haven't seen before that's a little bit interesting, a little bit different. I love the Outback for that. I guess it's a question of contrast, isn't it? You can go for hundreds of k's and not see anything, and that's partly enjoyable too. And then there it is, something different, something new. First signpost I've seen in a while. Fortunately, it's got Cameron's Corner written on it, which is a good thing, because if you go out here, one of the things you're going to find out is that there's at least half a dozen intersections that aren't even on the map. Follow your nose and follow those signs to Cameron's Corner and you'll get there. Gee, they weren't kidding about this track being in lousy condition. I think the rains came through, messed it all up, then it dried up hard before it had a chance to settle, and that's what you get, rough track. It'll be rough till it's graded. Plenty of soft sandy spots too. It's the old bull dust pits that can really cause you trouble, you know. If you hit them at speed and there's something hidden in there, you can do a lot of damage. You can even roll your truck. These sort of conditions, it's best to just maintain a pretty decent speed, you know, 70, 80 kilometres an hour tops. That way you can get out of trouble before you get into it. And talking about trouble, here's the Cameron Corner pub. You beauty. This is the only establishment for at least 250 kilometres all around. You gotta love that. Oh, Bill likes to keep the beer cold out here too. It's pretty amazing, you know. We hit the Corner Hotel the same night as most of the local policemen from Broken Hill, from Innaminka and from all over that part of Queensland, South Australia and New South Wales. They were having a bit of a get-together, a bit of a convention, I guess you'd call it. And it was good to see them too, because normally there's only 2 or 3 people here if you're lucky. A lot of these guys too are dead-set four-wheel drive enthusiasts. There was one of them who suggested I go and play a round of golf. Maybe it was just a way to get me out of the pub. This is one of the few games of golf you can have where you have some holes in Queensland and some in New South Wales. You can have some in South Australia too, except national parks stuff that bit up. Now, I don't know much about golf, but I know that if the little ball goes in the hole, you can go back to the clubhouse for another beer. Right, well here we are at the corner pub. I've got Claire with me. She's from France. She's been travelling all around the Outback. You got a year.
Yes, that's right, yep.
Oh, wonderful. And she's keen to try lots of different things, which means we've got a perfect victim for our yabbies. Now this is how you cook yabbies for you people who've never done it. It's dead easy. First thing we do, I've got some salt water boiling there. I'll just drop a few in. Now we had these guys on ice all day, so they're still pretty cold. It's just been enough to kill them, which is good, because I hate the things when they're alive. There we go. Just give them a bit of a boil up. About, oh, what do you reckon, 5 minutes? 5 minutes?
Yeah, I suppose.
You don't know, do you?
No, I don't know. But I think that's the way we do the crustaceans in France. Yep.
Yeah. What, do you have something like a yabby in France?
Yeah, we've got langoustine, which are a bit of the same, but they're a bit more, they're orangey, beige, and yep.
Oh, okay. Yep. Well, it's sort of just like a little lobster.
They are salt water.
Salt water?
Salt water.
Yes, yeah. Well, our salt water ones are this big, you know?
Yep.
No, they're not. Only about this big.
And we've got some freshwater ones
have you?
as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all
I've never had them. Yep.
Freshwater cray. We're going to do it with garlic, but unfortunately, because we're travelling in the bush, we don't have any fresh garlic, so it'll be garlic out of a bottle.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. Right, look at that. They're nice and orange. They've done 4 or 5 minutes. So now we'll just pull them out of there, duck them in cold water, skin them and bung them in the pan. Trimming a yabby, cleaning it up, is just like cleaning a prawn. All you need to do is crack the tail open. It's really only worth getting the meat out of the tail. Crack the tail open, pull out the intestinal tube, clean off the bits and pieces, and you're ready to go. Now, there's one thing about Aussie cooking, dead simple. It's got to be, because we are. Righto, here we go. Lots of butter. A lot of people use margarine. I hate margarine. Do you guys use margarine in France? Or?
For cooking, for real good cooking, it's better.
It's better, is it?
No, it's better as well. Yeah, we like butter.
Oh, you like butter?
Yes, butter.
Oh, thank heavens for that. I was worried there for a second. This is garlic that I freshly squeezed and put in the bottle. Maybe.
Maybe.
There we go. We'll just cook a few of these to start with. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, the creek they came out of, I couldn't see my finger a quarter of an inch under the water. It was that brown, you know, because it's running that fast.
Yep.
And yet you get this lovely food from it.
So they like still water or running water to be able to thrive?
You know what? I think they must like still water as well, but it must need some sort of breathing, because I've seen yabby farms where they have ponds, but they keep the water flowing from one to the next, to the next, to the next.
Okay.
We got these out of the river back here, and it was flowing pretty hard. So
it's from the Bulloo River.
From the Bulloo, yeah. Bulloo. We camped there last night.
Okay.
You know what we use for bait?
No.
A tin of cat food with some holes poked in it. They love it.
Okay.
There you go, Claire. These are just about done.
Yep. So
You're looking
fine.
worried. Are you okay?
No, that's fine. So that's where.
Try that.
Thank you.
It'll be hot. Is that nice?
Absolutely delicious.
Ah, there you go, see?
And I mean it. I just don't say that to be nice.
Better than a snail, eh? Much better than a snail. But listen.
Delicious.
Delicious.
Yeah.
There you go. We don't have to call for the flying doctor.
No.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, would you mind, one of the local guys here, Ben, his nickname's Frenchie, so we'll bring him in and see what he reckons too. Come on in, Ben.
Okay, Ben.
There you go, mate.
Ready?
Try that. Is that all right?
That's gold.
That's good for bush tucker, isn't it, eh?
It's not bad.
Oh, well, thanks very much. You can all go now because I want to finish these off. This is Bill Mitchell. He's the publican and probably the king of Cameron's Corner, I'd say, aren't you, Bill?
Just about, mate. Yeah,
Just about. You've been here 7 years now?
Just on.
Yes, truth. And right here, what have we got here? This is the border post.
That's the corner. Right here's the corner. New South, Queensland, and I'm in South Australia, you're in Queensland.
Well, I'm going to keep it that way, mate. I like being in Queensland. But I noticed there's a few other sort of survey posts and things around too. What's the go here? What's going on? There's another one over there.
When they surveyed it, I think that's one of the first ones there. Another one behind us. Technology's catching up over the years, and this is where to put it, and this is where it's staying.
This is where it's staying. So one of these, I mean, there's only about 15 foot in this from the original. That must be Cameron himself, the original surveyor.
John Cameron, yeah.
And that was what, 18?
Oh, around about 1890.
1890. So he would have done it with a camel and a piece of chain or something, wouldn't he?
Would have been hard yakka.
Man, he wasn't bad, was he? He's 15 feet away from the satellite,
He's
really.
done well. He's done well.
It looks to me like the old rabbit fence, it's not in the right place. What's happening?
I think Queenslanders must have built it. They borrowed a bit of land off New South Wales.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Hey, we've had a win, I like it.
Had a win all right, mate.
What do they use the fence for now, the dogs?
Dog fence now to keep them out of New South Wales.
Keep them out of New South Wales?
Supposed to, yes.
Yeah. Actually, I reckon we should extend this fence right the way down the border and try and keep all the cockroaches out of Queensland too while we're at it.
Little blue ones.
That's the ones. Bill, last night in the bar, I heard a bit of a rumour that you might be selling up before long.
She's on the market now, John.
Is it?
Yep.
Did you hear that? Somewhere out there, someone is in for the buy of a lifetime. Fair dinkum, Cameron's Corner store. That's awesome.
Be a good buy for someone, mate.
Good buy. There's a square mile of country. You got all the business in the world here on this corner. Everyone comes here eventually. Some of us don't want to go home. Hey, that reminds me, I better get some milk off you too.
Plenty over there, mate. Fresh or long life?
Oh, good. Yeah, well, I think I'll need long life, mate, by the time I get home.
Good, mate. Not a drama.
Oh, good on you. Corner life is like nothing else in Australia. Where else can you live in Queensland, have a New South Wales postcode and a South Australian phone number? Sure makes things tough at grand final time. When you really think about it, it's amazing that John Cameron could be so accurate with the survey of this area and so far from any capital city. It's truth. I get lost just going to the corner store, let alone this far out. Morning, Bill. Morning, lads. Oh, the got something for me?
Something for the handbrake, mate?
Oh, good on you, mate. That'll make a day, won't it?
Well, matey.
Ah, thanks, Bill.
All the best, mate.
I'll see you next time.
See you, Johnny.
See you later, lads. Ah, well, with the milk and bread, it was time to head home. Back through Cunnamulla, sticking to the tracks where we can. Poor old Milo, she's starting to show her age a bit. On the run home, I noticed she was running a bit rough. Oh dear, stopping for a look, I found I had 2 broken engine mounts, and I think I've got a blown piston, or at least a few sets of bad rings. Thinking back, I did hit that washout a bit hard about 100 k's back. Looks like I'll have to nurse her home on this one. Struth, that'll make me even later getting home. Oh dear.
Right, mister. I told you to go to the corner store. What took you so long?
I'll tell you, the traffic in Brisbane's murder these days. G'day! Welcome to Roothy's Ruthless Tales. Go on, grab a slice of fair dinkum, Australia. Get your dose of Roothy and put a smile on your dial.